First, if you can, tell us about how you became the white-tailed deer trustee for Wisconsin. What took place to get you in this position?
Yeah, that was an interesting story. Of course, I'm from Texas, but I work all over the range of the whitetail. And Wisconsin and Michigan, I've been doing a lot of work up in this area. And the last 3 summers, I've been doing seminar tours of Wisconsin. And in talking to a lot of folks, there's a lot of unhappiness about how deer are being managed. And some of the folks asked me, you know, if this came up, that it was a promise made by who is now the governor, that he, if elected, he would appoint a deer trustee to come in and look at this. And I was honored to be called up and asked to do this, you know, and I consider it an honor. I've had a lot of honors in my career, but this is, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest one I've ever had.
What do you hope to do? What is your expectation? What's your goal for the next 6 months? I mean, what is it that you want to, at the end of the day, leave behind after this? I mean, what's the whole mission here?
Absolutely. Wisconsin is the birthplace of wildlife management. This is the place where it all started. My goal is to make it the birthplace of 21st century deer management. A lot has changed in the last 100 years in deer management and the deer issues and everything. It's time for a change. It's time for a new way to look at deer management, and that's what we want to come up with. We want to come up with a plan that not only fits Wisconsin, but is a model that's going to spread across the nation, because these problems, Wisconsin is not unique. The other states have the same kind of problems right now.
What do you know of the problems here from talking to people over the last few years? I mean, obviously there's been a lot of talk about the buck and, you know, all kinds of different things. What do you see from the outside looking in are the problems with the deer situation? We've
been, on my website, drdeer.com, I've been asking people to submit what they think the issues are. I've been out talking to folks. That's what I'm doing now, is touring around talking to folks. But here are some of the basic issues. One, the buck was a big issue, and of course the legislature just passed a rescinding of that, so that's kind of off the table. Chronic wasting disease was the biggie, you know, and that's kind of settled down, but it's an issue that needs to be dealt with. The habitat management problems in old growth forest and its impact on our deer populations, how our deer are being hunted, how seasons and bag limits are being set, the complexity of the whole thing. Over the years, the hunting season has become very complex. You almost have to carry a lawyer with you now in the field to determine whether you're obeying the rules or not. So we've got a lot of complexity that needs to be simplified. That's one of the things, is simplification. The other thing is involving the hunters and the landowners and the public in the process. Is that traditionally now, over the last 2 decades across the nation, agencies have kind of come to a point where they've excluded public, and we want to reconnect the people with the process, because that's what we're here for, is for the people.
I've heard some people who are critical of this position, this appointment, the governor, say, yeah, well, this Dr. Deer, he's too commercial, and he's got a TV show, and he's not as serious, he doesn't publish in academic journals, and he's not a serious wildlife biologist. Yeah. He's not one of us.
Yeah.
What do you say to those critics?
Well, first of all, I'm a very serious wildlife biologist. I have a long and productive career. I have been a biologist that has been out there working, doing things that people need. And sometime back, instead of spending all my time, and believe me, I have lots of scientific publications, but spending all my time trying to impress the 12 people that read a scientific journal, I have been out with the people, finding out what they need to know and doing their kind of work. And I don't apologize at all for my TV work. That's getting to the people. And I enjoy, not bragging, but I enjoy a very good reputation with folks. The feedback I've been getting here from the people, from the hunters, from the landowners, is they're excited about this. So that doesn't bother me. I'm a maverick, and I enjoy that position, and that's what we need right now.
At the same time, this isn't just going to be you, right? This isn't just
right.
Professor Kroll comes in and says, here's what I want you to do, and let's do it. I mean, are you assembling a team to help you? I mean, what is the the bigger picture here?
Yeah, I've put together a team. Back to the science part. In the science world, we just don't, like magazine articles, we just don't write a magazine article and the editor publish it. You do research, write a paper, and an independent committee does a peer review of the science behind the article, to see if it has merit. I've done the same thing. I've put together the A-team. A lot of 2 other old codgers like me. One is Gary Alt. Gary Alt was the head of white-tailed deer program in Pennsylvania and is very famous and well known around the country as a guy that knows about working with people. Dr. Dave Gwynn, who's professor emeritus at Clemson University and was a professor at Mississippi State University. He is the father of the deer management programs that work with landowners. And he is an expert at working with the public and information and that sort of thing. Good scientists. Both of them are great scientists. I'm excited about the team we got.
And then, after about 6 months, you're going to have the goal is to present some recommendations, a report that the state will either act on or won't act on. I mean, really, you don't have any authority to do anything, just to come in and recommend.
Yeah, and I don't like the term deer czar, because look what happened to all the czars. You know, I'm not a czar, I'm a trustee, and I take that very seriously. We're going to produce an interim report in March and a final report at the end of June. That report, it goes to the legislature and the governor, okay? That will be our recommendations for what changes need to be done, actions need to be taken. It will not be given to the DNR, it will be given to the legislature and the governor to enact. And I've been assured by them that our efforts are not going to be wasted.